What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. So first things first, I have to say thank you to everyone that has viewed my last couple of videos. Once again, the love and support that I'm receiving from you guys is simply amazing. And I really thank you guys so much for it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. So in my previous video, I discussed how things went during my high school years at church and at home. So now it's time to get into how things went after high school. So shortly after I graduated, I decided that I was going to leave the church that I grew up in, spent my first 17 years at. I just felt like there were greener pastures on the other side. So I visited maybe about 3 or 4 different churches, and I decided on this one particular church. And what got me at this church was their praise and worship. As I discussed in my previous videos, praise and worship is it for me. If you can usher me into his presence with praise and worship, you got me sold. So I was at the church for maybe about 6 or 7 months or so, and I really enjoyed the teaching. I was definitely spiritually fed rather. It was a very good church. However, there came this moment where the preacher he mentioned something that his daughter wanted him to do. His daughter was in high school at the time, and she wanted her high school's gospel choir to perform at the church. And he said during the service now, he said, that's not going to happen. And that's not going to happen because, and then he made a gesture as if to say that there were gay men on the church. He didn't say it outright, but he said it in a way to make it seem obvious that there were gay men on the choir. And that's the reason why they were not going to be performing at his church. And that kind of hit me. Even though I was not out at the time, of course, on the inside, I know that I'm still gay. And that saddened me, and that, along with a couple of other things, led me to leave that church. So I did leave the church after about 6 or 7 months, and I was just kind of in limbo for a while. Now, in February of 2009, that was the time that the whole Chris Brown and Rihanna situation was going on, and I was huge fans of both of those artists. I really, really loved both of their music, and so at that time, I was actually on YouTube and I was viewing reactions to that whole situation. I wanted to know what people were talking about it, what people had to say about the whole situation that was going on between the two artists. And so I stumbled upon this YouTube channel called The Scorpion Show featuring Kevin and Mikkel. And at that moment, I saw two guys that were just like me. Leading up to this point, I was once again in my own little bubble at church, at home, and at school. I had no idea what was going on outside of those three things. And so when I saw these two guys on YouTube, I saw myself in them. And I was like, wow, there are other guys that are like me, that are not the ultra flamboyant, that are not the ultra masculine, but, sort of kind of fit in the middle. And I immediately became their biggest fan. I was reposting their videos on Twitter all the time. I was attending the blog TVs that the co-host Kevin would have. Now, blog TV is a platform where users can have live sessions, just like live YouTube. That was what the platform of blog TV was used for. So I would attend every single blog TV that Kevin had. I really, really wanted to support these guys because they allowed me to see myself in them and allowed me to realize that I could actually do this thing called being gay. And so as time went on, I got to know Kevin a lot better. We got each other's phone numbers. We were following each other on Twitter, things of that nature. And so in September of 2010, was when I finally met Kevin. So he was going to be in Atlanta for Black Gay Pride. And so I was working I went on a Sunday. So I was working that Sunday. I was working at American Eagle at the time. And after I got off, I got right on I-20 and I ran down to Atlanta so that I could meet Kevin. I really wasn't even going down there for the Pride events. I just wanted to meet Kevin, this guy that I saw on YouTube, that I saw myself in, and led me to believe that I could do this. So I got down to Atlanta. they were at a greeting called the Sweet and Greet, which was an event where plenty of gay YouTubers and other straight YouTubers that supported the gay community were coming together to have all of their supporters come to meet them in person. So I got there, I met Kevin, I met Mikkel, I met some other YouTubers that I frequent on YouTube, and it was just a great event. And so later on, we went to a gathering at Piedmont Park for the Gay Pride celebration. So we got to Piedmont Park, and one of the other YouTubers by his YouTube name was Blue Eyed Simba, but his real name is Daniel. And so while we were in Piedmont Park, he grabbed my hand. And he grabbed my hand not in a way to make it seem like he was romantically interested in me, but just in a friendly gesture. And at that moment, I realized this feels right. Something feels right about this. And once again, I realize I can do this. I can live my truth. I can be myself. I can be me authentically and live my truth in its fullness. And that was a moment that I will never, ever, 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 ever forget. And again, as the years went on, Kevin and I got closer and closer. I visited him multiple times in Philly. We went to Sizzle Miami in 2012. That was an amazing trip. I had so much fun. I actually got drunk for the first time at Sizzle Miami, but we won't talk about that. But it was just an amazing time. And I tell Kevin all the time, if it had not been for him, my life would be so boring. It would be so boring. I would not have gotten out of the house. I would just stay in my little bubble. But he opened my eyes to the entire LGBTQ plus community, and the different facets of it. And again, I realized after high school that I can do this and I can be myself and I can be gay and out and proud about it, which led me to coming out to my mother. So in my next video, I'm going to explain my coming out story. Now, initially, I came out to my sister slightly after high school, maybe about in 2008. I came out to my sister. And then in 2011, I came out to my mother. So in my next video, I'm going to share my coming out story with my sister and my mother. So thank you again for watching. Until next time,